opportunity. So if you guys are our last chance to just ask that be recognized as the neighbors, even if it was a developer that was prior to this one, the plan that was brought to you guys previously is what you are honoring. And so that you would bring that into your consideration as well. Thank you.
Just to be clear, like any handshake agreements between residents and developer has no bearing on what we do, correct? I mean, the only thing we can consider up here is what is in the staff report, what are the documents submitted, and the ordinances of the city and the state requirements.
Yes, sir.
At this time, I'll call for one last question, sir.
When I was up here before, Mr. Vice Chair told me that I need to reach out to my representative
Yes.
if I want something changed, and now I'm being told this is the final decision.
This is the public hearing portion of it. When it gets to council, they don't usually take public comment. They're not required to.
So this is it, basically.
This is the public hearing portion. They will receive excerpts and copies of all the minutes within my staff report that goes to them, and they'll have everything that was talked about and discussed this evening.
So essentially, if you don't approve it, it's not going to happen. And that's not what was led to me just a little bit ago from Mr. Vice Chair.
I think to clarify, what Mr. Zepps was getting at is the council has final approval. That may not be through a public hearing, but if you call your council and and you convince them that they're not going to approve the plat, they won't approve it.
So we make a recommendation, and then this is moved forward and is presented to the council to accept the final plat. The council can reject the recommendation of the planning commission.
And typically, the only thing that we're looking at is giving the developer the right to develop this in 5 units instead of 3.
Yes.
Everything that we've listened to tonight is undoubtedly important to the people that have spoken, but we have no control over 99 and 9/10% of what has been said tonight. All we're going to do is give that developer the right to develop that property a little differently than he had originally given.
So just so I understand it, you're deciding between 3 lots and 5.
That's it.
But the landscape approval all goes to him, and whatever he decides and gives to the city council, if we don't get our council members to vote no, we're basically out.
The landscape approval is a process that's going to be later down the line.
Yes, but it's not a public deal.
They never were. Just
So-
for clarification.
So there's no other chance for us other than to lobby our committee member, essentially.
I mean, Mark follows.
So just yes or no, is that am I reading that right? But am I saying it right?
Specifically for berms, you're saying it right, because there's no stipulations in the law saying that a berm is needed. But other than that, there's trees and shrubs to make the
Yeah, that'll help me when I'm
berm,
staring at
but not
trailers.
specifically the berm.
Yeah, that's great. I appreciate that.
All right. This time, I'll take a motion to close the public hearing. All right, public hearing is closed at 8:25. At this time, we need a motion to approve this before we can have the discussion, correct? Okay, this time I'll call for a motion regarding PP 0221.
So moved.
Is there a second? All right, this time, is there any discussion amongst the planning commission? I just have one thing to say. We've heard a lot of citizen concerns, neighbors in Edwardsville's concerns, the gist of it is the planning commission considers very narrow facts. Does it fall within the ordinances of the city? Does it fall in the correct part of the process? And our hands are tied to a large degree on what we can and cannot tell a developer to do, especially given the posted ordinances. I feel for everyone's concerns. We've been tasked and volunteered and appointed to do a very specific thing. And anyway. What's that? Yep, at this point, I'll call up Mark, if you'll do a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Cruz?
Yes.
Mr. Parika? Mr. Mesmer?
Here, yes.
Ms. Neff? Mr. Clark?
Yes.
And Mr. Gebauer?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Agenda item number 5 is the public hearing to consider a final plat.
It shouldn't be a public hearing. Is there-
It's not,
does it
it's
say-
listed as one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, I was
No.
confused,
sorry.
but agenda item number 5 is the final plat for Compass 70 Logistics Center. And this is FPE 0224. The staff report, please.
It's more or less regurgitated information, sir, but the property is currently zoned as light industrial. It was previously approved at the February 16th, 2021 Planning Commission meeting and again in August of 2021. The layout changed in between those submittals, between 5 lots to 3 lots, and now we've come back to 5. The exterior dimensions of the site have not changed. The revised plat will only alter the interior dimensions of the proposed lots. The current area included in the plat is vacant, and the proposed plat will subdivide the property into 5 lots, allowing for the construction of industrial buildings with ingress and egress from 110th and Riverview. 5 industrial lots of an average size of 27.25 acres. Separate tract designated for stormwater detention with a size of 14 3/4. And again, it will not change any dimensions outside of the final plat area. This plat more or less dedicates some right-of-way along Riverview and some other areas. Again, most of the stuff internal, if not all, is private. City of Bonner Springs, nor Edwardsville, nor anyone else will be liable for it. It will be on the development only. That's it. This is the final plat of what we just heard.
All right, at this time, are there any questions for staff? All right. Are there any comments from the applicant? All right, are there any questions for the applicant? All right, seeing none, I will call for a motion, please.
Mr. Clo, I'm sorry, I was calling for a vote already. Sorry, you make your
No,
motion, sir.
motion
I'm
to-
sorry, I jumped the gun there.
Yep.
I sure did.
I didn't catch that.
I'm sorry, I jumped
He
the gun. I
started
was
to
calling
call
for
a
a
roll
vote,
call
and-
vote.
and we don't have a motion.
That's why.
That was
And
my
then he,
fault.
yes.
That was my fault.
So we're need a motion to proceed.
I move that the final plat be approved.
I'll second it.
This time, if you would do a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Clark,
Yes.
Mr. Mesmer? Mr. Mesmer?
Yes.
Yep, sorry. Ms. Neff?
Yes.
Mr. Parika? Mr. Cruz?
Yes.
Mr. Gebauer?
Yes.
Motion passes. So,
Now, this item will proceed to the October 14th, 2024 council meeting.
yes, that one does.
And that is where the council will vote to accept or reject this proposal. Agenda item number 6 is, this is the applicant email?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what I put on the bottom of your notification there, but yes, I received an email the morning of September 13th
For the public hearing?
from the applicant
For the
to
special-
request to
or sorry,
withdraw this item.
Okay,
So,
right,
he decided not to purchase the lot and move forward as
okay.
of now, so this item is dead.
All right, moving on. Agenda item number 7. None at, open agenda, none at this time. Agenda item number 8 is the Community Development Director's Report.
I've been working on creating a new entertainment zoning district to coincide with some of the proposals from Mattel and any other amusement or entertainment type development that may come in the future. I've put some things together, but I'm still working through them. I didn't know if we'd have some time in between meetings to even delve into it, but we won't. We'll hit it at a work session or something, or I'll bring it forward to you guys for some review. I'm kind of looking at Branson has a pretty good one, and then they actually sent me one that Glendale, Arizona did, so I'm kind of trying to see what we've got, as well as allow uses that we already have. So there's, I don't want to get into too much, but they're either headed down the path where we have to have a zoning district specific, or we have to have a bunch of variances. And they'd rather not go through variance processes if we can make it easier. So that's where I'm kind of looking at trying to create an entertainment district that allow for more height than we allow currently for rides and things like that. Hotels even, if we decide. So they would have, this would be a specific zoning district that they would have to meet these requirements. It wouldn't blanket the whole city. So I mean, some of their requests are a hotel for possibly 10 stories high. We kind of had, I can't remember what the one was, 5 or 6, might even been 7 that was proposed up there at one time. But anyways, this would all go into a specific zoning district that we would have to approve as a rezoning. So just so you know, it's not like if I create these and it says a hotel can be 10 stories, they can put a 10-story hotel anywhere. That's not how it will work. It'll
A
all-
hotel could be up to, and then it would require.
Well, so there would still, no, I mean, this will be, again, a specific zoning district, probably incorporate a certain amount of land that they would
Right.
even have to have in it. But those would be the only places they'd be able to have a hotel that tall. That specific
okay,
zoning.
in that
Not
specific
just-
zoning
yeah.
area.
So hotels may be allowed in a general commercial or something like that, but they're limited to 3. It wouldn't change any of that type of stuff, just so you guys. I won't alter any of the zoning regulations outside of this specific one.
I see what you're saying.
It'll be built specifically for even, say, Worlds of Fun, or Six Flags, or anybody like that. 300-foot roller coaster, we don't allow
Or
that.
like that proposed Hard Rock Cafe casino
Yeah,
thing. they
could be
had, or,
something like that, yes.
Hotel thing they
Yeah.
had. a
So
few
this
years
would
ago.
establish a specific district that all of that stuff would have to fit into. We'll discuss it more as I get them completed and bring them to you guys. Don't worry, I won't surprise you with anything like that. We'll discuss it first. Staff has received a final plat application for the Bonner Springs Senior Villas. These will be located at 700 South 132nd Street. That is behind where the old Walmart was, so behind True Value. Along with a site and landscape plan to review. They've also submitted that. This property has been reserved for apartments since the plat for Deerfield Village was approved back in 1987. There's a big chunk over there that, I don't know if you drive that street quite a few times, you'll see a big large chunk that's just vacant and been sitting there. That place has been reserved for apartments since the plat was done. There'll be no rezoning or anything like that. You guys may start to hear about it, but again, it's already platted, it's set up for that. We're beyond all of those stages now. There's really, unfortunately, not a lot of public input at this point in time. Yes, sir.
So, can you give a little bit more detail on the nature of the project?
Well, I haven't really got into them that much. We just got them in, I think maybe yesterday even. But I do have. I have to find it. I might have moved it already. Nope, not it. Wrong one. Sorry. You'll have to share my screen here in a little bit. The rest of it, it's okay for now. Let me find what I want. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. So here, Larissa's gonna throw up some elevations that they've sent me. Oh, there you go. They're behind you. They're in front of you. 3-story, 55 and older apartment complex. I think, I can't remember, they had proposed 2 buildings. I can't remember if this is if they're both gonna be on one lot or if we're dividing it up. The plat is for 2 lots within that acreage, but this is their proposal of elevations at least.
So will the only restriction be 55 and older?
I believe so. I don't think so. I think these, unless I'm wrong, to my knowledge, these would be the only strictly senior housing that we have. This is what they've submitted for review, so this is what they will construct, I mean, more or less. I thought I had a little site. Maybe that's what this one is. Okay, so here's a proposed layout. Yeah, okay, so there's a proposed layout. Over on this side would be 132nd Street. There's Custer Avenue that goes into Deerfield. So this, let me get rid of some of this other stuff. There we go. Kansas Avenue's to the north. There's Kansas Avenue. Here's their proposed buildings. I can't recall how many units were going to be in there. I haven't, like I said, they just submitted it a few days ago. I haven't got into it that deep yet. I have obviously had discussions with them, and we knew what was coming forward, but these are the first set of plans I've really seen. So yeah, I actually do not even recall. 48, yep, 48 units. So there's 48 units in the building looking like that. Yes. Oh yeah, there's elevators, for sure. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There'll be elevators and all that. Yes, sir. Did that answer your question? Does that help you out?
Yeah, thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. I've also received building plans and site and landscape plans for 2 buildings out there at Compass already. Like I mentioned during the meeting, I've actually denied both of those. For one was building design, didn't meet our criteria, and the other one was for landscaping. So they're now revised and should be meeting our landscaping requirements. And then I read my BZA agenda item concerning number 4. I don't know if you were all, I don't know if Greg was here, Jason was here during that, but there was an issue during one of the Board of Zoning Appeals meetings, the last one, that I uncovered a bunch of information that led me to basically request removal of their item from the agenda, but we tabled it until further notice, or for 30 days.
And that's the one from earlier tonight.
Yeah, this was the BZA one. I know they're not happy, but I just couldn't, with all the information I kept uncovering, I just couldn't move forward in any comfortable manner. I tried to let them know as soon as I found out. Like, I literally researched at least a week and a half, if not 2 weeks, trying to find the ordinances, trying to find any plans, trying to find any information I could about it, and just kept running up against a wall. I know that's what they did not want to hear, but I had no other choice. It was either that or I had to recommend denial because it was in an easement. I mean, and I didn't want to do that to them. But I did prepare that, and I read it earlier, but I fully supported their request the whole time until I got into the information. And then
What exactly is a planned district in this?
well, so that's the thing. It's either they take, a lot of the ones that I've seen, they reduce the lot sizes down as small as they can, and then they reduce the setbacks to meet that. There's other plans where they lay out the entire development, and they have to follow that plan. If they deviate from it, from the ones I've worked with, if you deviate over a 25% building placement or anything like that, it has to go through the whole process again. I can't find a plan associated with it. I don't even know why it was zoned that way or what the intent was.
Is it just their property, or is it?
It's a big chunk all around it, and that's what I just can't. I mean, this won't really do it justice because it's not the zoning map, but it's their acreage, it's this piece, and I think also, nope, that's ours. There's another building in here. But that's all zoned, I suppose I can find it real quick too, but that's the RP zoning district, and that's what got me. because part of me says that, okay, well, it could have variances already from the setback requirements. But again, I couldn't find anything to support it. And honestly, I didn't feel comfortable proceeding.
Is it okay if we read this?
Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, they handed it to you, I don't know what it says, I don't know anything about it, so if someone wants to give me a copy, I'd be more than happy to look at it too, but, yeah, so there's 3 parcels in there that are zoned as planned district, and I don't know why. And the plat that we discussed is not associated with their parcel. So if I go to their parcel and I look, and I know we're kind of getting into a lot of things that probably don't pertain much, but there's no plat map, not available. So that's on their specific lot. There is nothing that shows me that's divided. Now, on my zoning map, I do know that there was a parcel carved out here. I do know that. But that's the only place I can find it unless and until you go down to, and I'm not sure if it's this parcel or the next one, which this is not theirs. But now we have a plat. And now that plat lays out lots on their property. And they were looking at number 5. So it's very odd, and I don't want to, and I know it's recorded, but I would place blame on the county because they started to combine parcels that are under one ownership. So there's 3 lots or 2 lots on their part that are divided that you would never know without doing a lot of research. I've done what I can at the county level to try and get them to not do that, but they keep doing it, and I'm not going to fight that battle. I'll just do my best. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I fully supported their variance, and I was moving forward. And as I got into the research and doing their staff report, I just couldn't. I kept running into a brick wall. So that was that. I did, I guess, since we're here, I did come across the bylaws. I came across them, dug them up, looked through them. We do have a set time in these that says 7. I know we had discussion about a start time. Give me now, 6:30?
I think that's what was planned,
6:30 for planning commission meeting? So, and then talking to Chris, or just hearing her talk to Larissa a little bit ago, the commission's more or less established by ordinance, but the bylaws are the bylaws. They're not via ordinance or anything like that, so we can make those changes. The one thing I heard her say is that if we have a BZA meeting that starts at 6 and it runs over, that's not a problem. If we have a BZA meeting that ends at 6:15, then we can't start the planning commission early.
We've never started early, right?
Exactly. So we got that. So we can change the time to 6:30. And I'll bring this to you guys. We'll have to approve it. So I'll get it all changed and bring it up to you guys. I noticed the order of business is a little different than the way I've been presenting it. I didn't even know it was in there. So I'll make the changes to that the way I've been presenting it to you guys. And then I noticed another change that references zoning ordinances, and I'll change that to
Can you email us a copy of those?
UDO. Yeah, definitely. Another thing that I'll look into that I think is odd, and I think you guys have kind of talked about it too, is like why we have elections in August. I'll look and see if there's something that sets that, and if not, we'll move it to January. But in my thoughts in doing that, we won't move it until 2026, because we just made new elections. We won't turn around in January and make them again. We'll just wait until that next year. But I'll look and make sure that, and I will email these out to you guys. It discusses absences on you guys' parts and things like that. Attendance.
That's what I was wondering.
Oh, maybe. I don't know why it would matter, but
It's probably, I mean,
yeah. I'll find out. I'll find out if there is a reason
their
behind
elections
it.
at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't really know why there is that, but. So I'll research those too, but I'll email them out to you guys so you can look at them too. Excuse me, but that's all I have.
All right, anything else? Meeting is adjourned at 8:46 PM.
Hallelujah.